So there's a marked difference between the horror worlds of the East and West. While the majority of our horror films tend to focus on slashes and remakes, Asian films focus on extreme and creative ideas coupled with a sense of fatalism. There are very few fear-filled films in their repertoire that could be described as optimistic horror. It's more along the lines of, you get cursed, you're f***ed. There's no hope for even one of you to make it out of this. No sirree Bob. So let's take a look at some of the best horror films that Asian cinema has to offer. Just don't go expecting there to be much joy within the entries though, okay? With this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 fantastic Asian horror films you must see before you die. Number 10. The Eye. When a blind woman regains her sight via a miraculous operation, the audience is forgiven for thinking that this is probably going to be an uplifting, feel-good story better suited to daytime TV. But The Eye is anything but. It turns out that the retina transplant came with some pretty severe, ghostly side effects, something which the opticians clearly forgot to tell Angelica Lee about. The Eye is intentionally slow-paced, biding its time to build a sense of foreboding before unloading its scares and making you unload in your trousers. There is an American remake of this flick starring Jessica Alba, but it's a bit of an eyesore. Puns, I've got them. Number 9. Ringu. The Ring, or Ringu as it's known in native Japan, is the film that made Asia horror exports a thing and kickstarted the Asian horror remakes craze. Nobody's going to thank it for the latter, but there are many good reasons why it caught on globally, mostly because it's f***ing terrifying. We all know the tale by now: watch a video, get 7 days to live, and then Mop Top will drag you back to the world of VHS After Effects plugins. The US remake in 2002 wasn't all that bad, but when you watch the original, you get a much greater sense of unease than a reliance on shock tactics. Number 8. Audition. If artistic beauty lies at one end of the creative spectrum and f***ed up torture porn on the other, Audition lies somewhere slap bang in the middle. But that's extreme horror specialist Takashi Miike all over. But saying that, his 1999 project Audition is twisted even by his own warped standards. Protagonist Shigeharu is a bit of a creep, holding an audition to help him find a second wife. But even he doesn't deserve what happens to him during this traumatic 113-minute exercise in sadism. And trust me, much like making love with yours truly, you're gonna feel every drawn-out minute. Joking aside, this film is f***ing nasty, and there's a scene with a dog bowl and another with piano while. Oh god, look, it's just so f***ed up. It's really f***ed up. It's just f***ed up. It's so f***ed up I feel bad for telling you about it. You're welcome. Number 7. Shutter. So Thai horror film Shutter is probably the most standard of horror tales on this list, following a pace which feels a lot more Western than its peers. Yet it's the ideas and imagery which elevate Shutter to an absolute must-watch. A couple flees from an accident. Then they realise a presence is haunting them and can be seen in all of their photos. As it begins to knock off their friends, the tension rises to a late-game twist which is a shift in expectations so great, it will leave you utterly reeling. Like camera reel? I guess that's a joke. I don't know. Number 6. Ju-on. There's an age-old idea in horror lore that some events are traumatic enough to leave a mark on the physical world. A curse, if you will. So in Ju-on, when a family is brutally murdered in an apartment and then their remains are stashed upstairs, it comes as no surprise when there's supernatural hell to pay. Ju-on delivers on some great visual scares. The image of the stark white ghost kid and his undercrackers is guaranteed to be burned into your retinas for all time. And then there's the vengeful ghost who kills all that she comes into contact with. But the thing that makes her utterly terrifying is the fact that she doesn't play by our poxy Western folklore rules. Top lass. Number 5. A Tale of Two Sisters. If A Tale of Two Sisters is anything to go by, then Korean fairy tales are dark enough to turn the brothers Grimm into cowering wrecks. Based on the story of Rose and Lotus from local folklore, this 2003 offering is a family drama wrapped in a psychological thriller with added supernatural horror for good measure. A Tale of Two Sisters has everything a horror hound could ever ask for: suspense, tension, chills, and a bucket load of gore. And let me tell you, that cupboard scene, oh god, it's utterly scarring. Like, I genuinely find it uncomfortable to watch now. So thanks for that. Number 4. Dark Water. A soak in the tub will never be the same once you watch Dark Water. Ringu mastermind Hideo Nakata takes viewers on a slow-paced journey through dark, unsettling territory where eerie imagery haunts you throughout. It follows a divorcee and her young daughter in an old apartment block where strange happenings coincide with a growing black spot on the ceiling where water continuously seeps in. If ghostly children and a fear of drowning are the kind of thing that haunts your worst nightmares, Dark Water will knock your psyche sideways. Number 3. I Saw the Devil. Korean horror thriller I Saw the Devil is less about the adage of revenge being a dish best served cold and is more an all-you-can-eat buffet of pain and suffering. The story follows a special agent who is hell-bent on avenging the murder of his pregnant wife at the hands of a serial killer, and the results are harrowing. The slow-burning plot places you inside the protagonist's mind and makes you see what horrible, monstrous thoughts he holds. One minute you're rooting for this stricken hero, the next you're fighting to keep your lunch down in the light of his latest atrocity. This is not for the faint-hearted. Number 2. Cairo. Cairo has only become more relevant over time, as our distrust of technology continues to grow amidst high-profile hacking incidents and data mining controversies. This Japanese tech-powered horror blends post-apocalyptic elements with sharp social commentary and ghosts invading the world of the living via the internet, because, of course, why not? I mean, Asian films have ruined baths, phones and TVs so far, so why not computers? There are some chilling images on show throughout Cairo, compounded by a masterful cinematography. Couple this with society's natural tech paranoia, and you have an award-winning horror formula. And number 1, Thirst. Chan-Woo Park is best known for his messed-up revenge thrillers, but the results were surprisingly original when he tackled the subject of vampirism in 2009's Thirst. As you might expect from a filmmaker with a penchant for vengeance, Park's take on vampires is far removed from what you'd expect from, say, Twilight.
He's thirsty.
His vampires have bite. Some of them ponder the horror of their own existence and insist on non-violent means of satiating their bloodlust, while others make Count Dracula look like a f***ing Sunday school teacher. There's plenty on offer to keep the gorehound satisfied, but at its core, Thirst is an illicit love story which offers a mature take on the subject of undeath. If you only see one of Park's films in your lifetime, then make sure it's Thirst. And that's our list. Got any other Asian horror films you'd like to share? Well, let me know about them in the comments section below. And why not swing by whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.